We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that these among are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing powers in such form as to them they still seem more likely to affect their safety and happiness. I've been working on this for such a long time now. I really need to finish before everyone starts to get annoyed at me.
Are you done yet?
No, not yet. Maybe you should have written the first draft instead of me.
I will never. You need to do it.
Why not? You should do it. You'd be better at it.
I will not.
Why not, though?
Reason's enough. Reason the first. You are a Virginian, and a Virginian ought to be at the head of this business. Reason the second. I am obnoxious, suspected, and unpopular. You are very much otherwise. Reason the third. You can write these 10 times better than I can.
Well, if you are dedicated to doing that, then I will try to do as best as I can.
Good. Now hurry up and finish so that we can present your draft to everyone.
He has waged cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life, liberty, and of the persons of distant people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, or to incur miserable death in their transportation hither. This piratical warfare, the opprobrium of infidel powers, is the warfare of the Christian king of Great Britain. Determined to keep an open market where men should be bought and sold, he has prostituted his negatives for suppressing every legislative attempt to prohibit or restrain this exploitable commerce.
I doubt blaming the king for slavery is reasonable.
I agree. Slaves do not serve an importance in this matter.
As I said, the enslavement of black Africans violates the most sacred rights of life and liberty.
Is this another one of your pathetic Virginian beliefs?
Well, I wouldn't consider Virginia to be pathetic, since I do not see a Declaration of Rights being produced in Massachusetts.
Gentlemen, please stop arguing. What's your reasoning behind this grievance of the king?
Well, a couple years back, Virginia's legislature passed a tariff designed to restrict the importation of slaves. The British administration disallowed such laws, since the importation of Africans will lower the price of domesticated slaves.
Accusing the king of its expanding slave population is too far-fetched.
To add on, South Carolina and Georgia have a large growing slave population. Both states' agriculture relies on slave labor, and the amount imported into the state exceeds most territories in the New World.
But we could accuse the king of freeing back slaves.
Such as?
In November 1775, the loyal Governor Dunmore of Virginia proclaimed that any slave who deserts its master to fight for the king would be freed, or otherwise known as the Dunmore Proclamation.
Instead of accusing the king of the growing slave population, let's accuse him of freeing slaves for royal purposes.
Agreed. This is more reasonable and less contradicting.
Well, it's late, and I'm expected for a late supper. Let's meet another time to discuss more grievances of the king.
I understand the changes you made to my draft, and I do believe they made the document clearer overall, especially since you made a couple alterations with words, but you didn't change the overall substance of the document. As you can see, the papers are intertwined with the words of Dr. Adams, Dr. Franklin, and mine.
These alterations may seem like the document is more difficult to read, but in the end, it is more powerful to show the king.
We also changed about a quarter of your original wording to make it better.
Very well. I feel that we're almost ready to have the final copy of this document made. And
I feel that in the beginning of this paper, you are merely copying John Locke's ideas on government.
I don't believe that to be so. Yes, I do agree that many of Locke's ideas are stated here in the document, but...
But what? You should not have copied it in the first place. It isn't right.
You didn't let me finish. I was saying that Locke's ideas are known throughout the world, and I was not copying them all. I was merely agreeing with him using my own words and describe my own feelings.
Well, that may be what you think, but...
You two stop arguing. We have been trying to finalize this for 3 weeks so far, and we really need to finish.
Yes, I completely agree. Let's get on with this.
Okay, so what are some other slight changes we need to make?
Well, I think that we need to take out most of your comments to the king about slavery.
Yes, I agree with that. I still think that we cannot accuse him of enslaving entire colonies for his own benefits.
Fine, well, what should we say in that paragraph instead?
I think that we should just say that the king has been exciting domestic insurrections. That seems less severe to accuse him of.
Isn't the whole point of this to be accusing him of harsh things?
Yes, but this is a better way of saying it.
All right, then.
Okay, so does anyone else have any suggestions that we can start, or can we start the final draft?
Go on.
Okay. Finally, I'm done.
Okay, we need to sign it now.
But wait, not everyone is here yet. We cannot sign it without everyone being in the room.
Yes, we can just say they can add it on later, like their signatures.
I agree. Let's begin. I'll sign first. July 4th, 1776. I, John Adams, signed this wondrous Declaration of Independence. Okay, so who wants to sign it next?
For those of you who didn't sign the declaration earlier, we need you to sign it now.
Yeah, several of us already signed it on July 4th, and now we need you to sign it.
Very well.
Well, sign it already.
Men, let us complete the signing of this document.
Yes. Well, Jefferson, I must say that you did quite a good job on this declaration. I do apologize for all the inconvenience I've caused you along the way.
It's alright, thank you.
Yes, Jefferson, I would also like to add that you did a wonderful job with writing the final draft of the Declaration.
Thank you, and I would like to thank you also for your guidance and help along the way.
You're welcome.
Document become clear overall, especially since you only made a couple. The dog needs to be upstairs. Thanks, Chris.
Dude, your cat was licking me for like a minute. Oh my god.
Wait, I'm still recording.
Dude, I'm locking your cat in there. Oh my god. Dude. Dude, screw your cat. He was like licking me, like scratching me for like the whole time, and I was trying not to laugh. I was like,
I saw the word. I feel the substance. I threw my pen at myself. The changes you made in my draft, and I do believe that.
oh my god. Well, let's sign it already.
What?
Wait, I said yeah.
You can stop it now.